Okay, so I know I did another video with some rants in it. I don't want that specifically for other stuff. I may take it down. I don't know. It was supposed to be just about Ryobi. So, okay, anyway, um, got a few new Ryobi One Plus items. Uh, I got it a little over a week ago now, about a week and a half, and I'm enjoying it. I've used it a little bit and made a few suggestions to Ryobi, and I will be sending a link to this video to Ryobi. Ryobi is not sponsoring me on this video. They did not send me any of these items. This is stuff that I paid for out of my own pocket. Stuff that I could use, especially here in Oakland. It's a little chilly, especially right now. This last year really never warmed up. Hopefully this coming year is going to be a little bit warmer in the summer. But anyway, two items I got. I'm going to go ahead and start it a little differently on this one. Come on, reverse. There we go. So I was friend of mine. They don't have a bunch of money. Last Saturday, not the weekend we just had, but the weekend before, I don't remember what that was, like the third of the month, was his wife's birthday party. And he wanted to throw a party but couldn't afford it, so I helped with it. I did the party for him. Nice barbecue and everything, no big deal. Wanted to be able to listen to music while we're during the party and everything, but we didn't want it coming from one location. We kind of wanted to spread out and be of a lower volume so we could still talk comfortably. Got these speakers. I already have a Ryobi One Plus Bluetooth speaker, but it's just a standalone speaker. There's nothing, you can listen to the radio or whatever on it, but you can't hook other speakers up to it. So you have to have it louder to hear it in different areas. So I got this. You can hook up 4 more speakers to it. Right now it'd actually be 3. I think it's 5 speakers total. I think there's a way you can do it to where you can hook up more than 5 speakers, but I'm not sure how that would work. But anyway, I got these. They run off of the OnePlus 18-volt battery. I'm running it off of a 4 amp hour lithium battery. It also has, I'll pull this off, it actually has a little power port there right below where this battery goes, where you hook up a power supply so you can use power instead. Handle's supposed to be able to where you can hang it from your wall where you're working or whatever with a screw, but if you got this big battery on there, it's kind of hard to do. You got to use a long screw. Had to use some 3-inch or 3.5-inch screws to make it work, but it did what I needed it to do, so I like that. This one here, this is one of the satellite speakers. It has the SKAA button or whatever this is. I'm not sure exactly how that works. Then it has your volume up and down, and then it has your power. No way to tell what your volume level is on this speaker or any of the other satellite speakers. I don't like that. You can't control them all from one speaker. You have to turn on each one up individually, so you don't know what you got on each of your satellite speakers. The bass speaker, it's a lot better. It has auxiliary input, so you can use a MP3 player without Bluetooth, or you can turn it on into FM mode and have it on Bluetooth. It's a good little speaker. Has station presets on it, SKA button, your tuner up and down button, your volume buttons up and down. Okay. And you can tell what your volume is on this one. And it has decent sound. But right off the bat, I've seen a few things that I didn't like. Okay, number one, the satellite speakers. I was thinking about it, and I was like, just have to listen to it how it is and everything and deal with it. But you can't adjust your highs and your lows. Okay? So you can't do it according to what kind of music you want to play. It's just one or the other. You're stuck with what it has, stock. For tone values, bass and treble, no adjustments. And I don't like that. Several people on the Home Depot website, on their ratings of it, have commented on this issue. So I agree with them on that. Another issue, like I was pointing out, is you can't see what your volume level is on the satellite speakers. I don't like that. A lot of people I've seen on, once again, Home Depot's website, they've commented on that, and they're like, it would be nice to be able to see what volume level we had at instead of having to just guess. Another thing that would be cool is if you could go on the base station and adjust your volume there, and it would automatically turn up the satellite speaker volume as well. That would be a real cool deal. That'd be just the bomb, because then I wouldn't have to worry about it if I want to turn everything down because I got somebody big coming real quick. I don't have to turn my music off. I can just turn it down to where it's just barely, you can barely hear it. So, that'd be nice. But hey, take what you can get right now. Hopefully, Ryobi, when they see this video, they listen. But who knows? Honestly, y'all know me. I love Ryobi. But at the same time, I can abuse my tools, and I know Ryobi's going to hold up because in the past they have. I've done stuff with tools that people say, well, that's not advisable, and had the tools hold up just fine. I mean, a cordless skill saw that's designed for maybe 1/4 inch plywood or paneling, something like that, something like that's kind of thin, and that's all it's really intended to cut. And I've used it to cut thick wood. I'm talking take front doors where we've had to replace them and cut them in half so I can fit them in a dumpster, small garbage dumpster. That kind of thick wood, 2 inches thick. That's pretty dang thick. And yeah, it drew it down a lot, but it cut it. Is it underpowered? Yeah, I can agree with people when they say it's underpowered. I was cutting it at its absolute maximum ability. Pays to have a good blade on there. Get you that blade that comes with it. Don't try it. Get you a good carbide tipped 5 inch, 5.5 inch, whatever diameter blade it is that it calls for. Home Depot does have the size blade you need. Some stores have it in stock. Sometimes you'll have to order it online. I can say that. I went and had to buy my own. Had to buy the separate blade. And it goes like that with most new tools that are cheaper like this is. These aren't the bottom end. Some people say they're just garbage. I don't think so. But cheaper tools, you tend to have to buy a different blade. The one that comes with it, yeah, it works, but it's not the best. So I bought a skill saw, a big one, and it wasn't a Ryobi, but it was just a case of I didn't have a bunch of money and it was all I could get right then and I needed it right then. And the blade was garbage. I mean, it was just steel. There was no tips on the saw blade for carbide or anything. And you try and cut wood and it's trying to go all over the place. You're going straight and it's going way off left or way off right or back and forth. You couldn't get a straight cut out of it for nothing. Okay, went down, bought a cheap blade from Home Depot, tossed on there. Perfect. It cut fine. Okay, so it's not Ryobi's doing cheap, It's just that's the way they go. Nobody really does that. You want to pay $500 for a skill saw? Oh yeah, they're going to give you a good blade with it. No problem. They're going to give you a better blade than most people do because you're buying it. And a lot of those like Makita, you're not buying the tool. You're buying the name. And I'll tell you what, I'll take a Ryobi over Makita any day. Or any other tool for that matter. DeWalt, any of them. Even Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a joke. Like I said, with a lot of those, you're paying for the name. DeWalt, I will say, they do have some decent tools. They do have some decent technology they're using where others aren't. But, Ryobi, for price, you're getting a heck of a deal. Their stuff is definitely worth it. As far as I've seen, if you've seen some of the stuff I've done with my tools and seen how well it held up, I will testify that Ryobi has some good tools. I don't hide it. Am I being paid for this stuff? No. Am I being paid to say this? No. This is what I see. I paid for this stuff out of my own pocket for my career that I've done for the longest. And that's it. So, yes, I can stand by stuff when I feel it. If I see if they turn around and they said, "Okay, we'll sponsor your channel. We want to send you this tool and I want you to do a review on it." Okay, sure, no problem. I'll give you an honest review. I'm going to give that tool the beating of its life. And when it's done, I'm confident that that tool is going to take everything I dish out and keep running. And then I'm going to give my a true statement. If it was just garbage, I'm going to tell them, say, "Hey, look, I hate to put a video out here like this for you, but I've got to. The agreement was I did my review of it, what I felt it was like. And in this case, this is the issues I found. And then I'm going to give you all the chance to fix it and come back." That's the way I would do them. That's how you do an honest review. And there are people out there, they've come back and they're like, "Oh yeah, this tool was the bomb, da da da." And then a couple months down the road, they're like, "Man, that tool's complete garbage." No, no, not me. I don't think that's right. I don't want to be sending people to buy a tool that I said was good when it was total garbage. That's not me. So yes, I am going to be honest with it. Anyway, the speakers were the first item I bought for that party. But because the party was outside and it's been kind of cold here lately, it's colder than, well, where it's not as cold as it should be, but it's been chilly enough that we needed some warmth where we're having our party. Now, yes, it's enclosed. It's a parking stall. It already has 3 sides on it, but the front was mostly closed off. There's just I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 foot wide opening. And I just hung some blackout curtains across that to keep any warmth in that I could. So I needed a heater. I wanted something that could put out plenty of heat in here to help keep it warm, but I could use for other jobs as well if it was cold. And that's the other item I got. It's a hybrid propane heater. It uses the battery or an extension cord plugged into your wall for the power part of it that it needs, electrical part. And then it takes a 1 pound tank of propane to put the heat out. You get just a hair over an hour of runtime on 1 pound tank of propane. It puts out a lot of heat. This roughly 40 by maybe 12 area, it could make it uncomfortably warm very quickly. It's 15,000 BTUs. Now, the only thing I don't like is those tanks are a little expensive. But they sell this kit. This screws into the bottom of the heater in place of the propane tank. And this hooks to your 20-pound propane tank. Okay? So that gives you a lot more runtime. It's got its positives and its negatives. I do like that it does put out so much heat. Yes, it uses a lot of oxygen, so you don't want to use it in a full, like your house for very long. If you come home and it's freezing and, you need to warm it up real quick, but the heat can't get it up there that fast, you can put that on for a couple minutes and help the heat out, and it'll truly warm that house up pretty quick. You're using it outside to working on your car. Perfect. For the people that live where it gets downright freezing, and you've got an old tractor and it's not in a warmed up area and you don't have a block warmer on it and you go to start it, it's just too cold and it don't want to start. Perfect. You put that thing up under the tractor so it's blowing up under it and the heat can rise and help heat up the engine to where it'll start up easier. Perfect for you. You put that thing on for about 15 minutes under the block to where the heat's coming up onto the engine. In 15 minutes, that thing's going to be a lot warmer than it was when you started. And it will start really easy because of it. So yes, it does do good. I am truly impressed with it. Now, for the adapter hose, Ryobi doesn't sell that. You can order it online through Home Depot. and it's like a 1 pound to 20 pound propane conversion kit or conversion hose, I think is what they put it under. You can get it off of eBay. You can get it off of, I went into Walmart to get this one because they had it in stock. Unfortunately, they didn't have it in stock when I needed it the most. So I bought 4 tanks of propane from Home Depot at that right then because that's what I had where I was at, and that was 8 something for 2 tanks. So I spent over $16 on propane, 4 pounds of propane. You know, so a 20 pound tank is a better deal. Um, Honestly, if I'll say this, if Ryobi had sold that conversion hose themselves and it had their name on it, I would have bought it from Home Depot for $30 instead of $17. Why? Because I'm a Ryobi guy, you know. But at the same time, if I bought it and used it for a month and then the hose bubbled up and popped, you know I'm going to say something to Ryobi about it. I'm definitely going to put it out there. But I haven't hooked it up to my 20 pounder yet. I got to go get it because it's sitting in storage, but it's got some propane in it. And I'm going to see how that heater does. Okay, that was weird. For some reason, my phone decided to say I was still doing a live stream, but kicked me out of live. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna keep using this over the next month, and sometime in the next month, roughly, I'm gonna give y'all a further review of these 2 items. As it stands right now, I've had them for a little over a week, and I'm loving them. Uh, I actually went to my buddy's place. He needed somebody to do his brakes on his truck for him, front and rear brakes, and it wasn't cold enough to use the heater, so I didn't get to use it. The speakers, I brought those with so I could just sit the speaker down, turn it on to my music, and work. And I loved it. Uh, he was out there. He's like, "That's not a bad setup." So he kind of likes it. He's starting to get Ryobi tools like I am. He just got the One Plus 18 gauge finish nailer or brad nailer or whatever you want to call it. I already have one of those. He's seen it and he likes to borrow mine. And he had returned some stuff to Home Depot and gotten store credit. And he needed one. He was getting tired of having to borrow. So he went ahead and bought himself one and a charger and battery. So, yeah, he's starting to see the good of Ryobi. Only thing he doesn't like is how expensive their batteries are. They're good lithium. The little, like, I think they're 2 amp hour lithium batteries. They're good for like the Brad Nailer for doing baseboard and stuff like that. Perfect size battery for that. It lasts, he can do a whole apartment renovation and then go and put up all the baseboard in the 3 bedroom apartment on one battery. And it'll just fall shy of being able to do that whole apartment with that one battery charge. Excuse me, I've had a cold for the last week, but actually it's been a little over a week. But anyway, uh, yeah, he's been using DeWalt for several years, and I think he's going to start buying Ryobi more because there's so many more tools you can get, and you only have to carry one battery around for all of them. And the 4 amp hour batteries, they're like $60, something like that, for one battery. 60 or $70, I don't remember. I've got a lot of 4 amp hour batteries. Matter of fact, I just got the 6 battery charger here recently. That's another item I got. You can put 6 batteries on there and have them all charged. The thing I don't like is I thought it charged all 6 at once. No, it charges them one at a time. And once the first one's charged up, it puts it into a float mode so it keeps the battery fully charged and it starts charging the second one and then so on. That was rather expensive purchase, but because of the number of batteries I have, it comes in handy. It also has a USB port on it to charge your phone. That's another thing these speakers don't have that the single speaker that I have can do, is it'll charge my phone off that Bluetooth. If they put that on this phone, on this set of speakers, perfect. That'd be an absolute glorious thing. But yeah, my buddy sees that I buy mostly Ryobi. These batteries, expensive. I was looking at a 6 amp hour lithium battery, and I was actually going to buy one, and it was in the wrong spot, come to find out. But it was $130 plus tax for one battery. And I was like, God, that's insane. So yeah, can I use that? Oh God, there's so many times I could have used it. I wound up going ahead and buying one. I probably will never buy another one because they're so expensive. But 6 amp hours is a lot of power. And when I was helping somebody do some renovation, they were to help reduce their expenses on their renovations of their house. Yeah, they had an electrician coming in to do the electrical wiring itself, and to help with the expenses, the agreement was he put all the boxes up according to what kind of boxes they wanted. He supplied everything. He ran the wiring, but they tied everything in. And we got the codes on the stapling, so many inches from the box and so on. And I had to drill a lot of holes. And to drill all the holes I had to, the 6 amp hour battery was preferable because I went through my 4 amp hour battery and had to dig out get the second one out and use it. And between the two of them, plenty, more than enough time of drilling. So I like it. The 6 amp hour battery, let's see, I think I got it on this little heater here. Yeah, there we go. That sucker is, it's quite heavy. It's the same footprint size as far as width and depth, but let me pull it so you guys can see the difference. It's a little bit higher. It's a little bit taller. So that gives you an idea. But does it last? Yeah. I ran that heater for, it was about 2 or 3 hours on that battery and dropped it down maybe a quarter of the way. Oh, one other thing I was going to show you on this heater. There's where the back hole, the small hole, is where the battery connects to, and the big one is where you plug up your extension cord. Yeah, 1 bar on a 6 amp hour battery, that would have been like half of my 4 amp hour battery. Default mode, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you something else. Okay, this is a little thing about this heater. Okay, when you go to turn it on, okay, now once you put your propane tank on, hook it up, you're charged with propane up to the valve point, to the shutoff valve, and that's built into it. Okay, that stops the propane burner from running. Okay, that's how you turn it on. When you hear it start clicking, push that button, and then you have to hold it down for a couple seconds until the burner stays lit. If it goes out when you release it, just push it again real quick while it's still clicking, and it'll actually reignite the burner and it'll keep running. The the ignition kicks off after about, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds, or it gets to temperature, up to a certain temperature, I don't know. But it does its job very well. You can actually see the remnants of the party from last weekend. You can actually see it moving around from the heat waves. Inside here, kind of let you look in. That disc in the center will actually be glowing red hot all the way across. And it will be glowing quite red. It does everything I need it to. The only thing I don't like is you lose a lot of heat when you first turn it off. It takes longer to cool down. I'd like it where, and this is a suggestion to Ryobi, it should be set up where when I hit the button to turn it off, instead of everything shut off, it turns the burner off, and then for an additional like 30 or 45 seconds, the fan continues to run to help cool everything back down. Because if you're out on a job site and you shut it off after you're done with your job, you have to wait for like, I don't know, maybe I think it'll take just sitting there on its own about 30 to 45 minutes to cool down to where you won't melt something in your car if you toss it in the back seat. But if you let it run for just a minute after you shut it off, it'll cool it down enough to where it won't do any damage to anything. But, that's what I feel would be a good idea. I mean, I know the technology's there. I know that Ryobi has the ability. Will they? Who knows? Be nice if they did. But yeah, that's a little thing that I would like to see. But what I tend to do is after I turn it off, when it's hot, I'll turn it off and I'll just turn it back on and wait a couple seconds and then shut it back off. Because the burner will kick back in because it's still up to temperature enough to stay on, keep the burner valve open on its own. But yeah, it's worth it. I'll just do that a few times until it kicks in, the igniter kicks in and the burner doesn't come on. And then I can, I'll let it run for a good minute, maybe a minute and a half after it's done, after I can do that. And by the time I shut it off, the air is just barely warm. But when it first does that, it's hot enough, the housing is hot enough, you don't want to put your arm on it because it'll burn you. But it's not hot enough to where it'll, seriously burn you. It'll just give you a surface burn that hurts. So that gives you an idea of how hot it actually can get. They recommend like maybe I think it's 2 foot or 4 foot, something like that, all the way around it on either side from the any other surfaces, combustible surfaces at that. And it's I think it says recommends like 6 feet above it to any surface above it. So you don't want to stick it under a folding table or something like that because it can catch it on fire just from heat convection. But hey, I don't have a problem with that because I ain't going to put it under a folding table. I do use it in our bathroom because of my back, I've got 4 screws and a steel plate in my back. I think a lot of you might know that already. A lot of you don't, but hey. Anyway, I take hot baths to help with my back. It helps my muscles in my back relax and helps me feel better. Problem is, building has no insulation in the outside walls, so it gets cold in there and there's no heat in there. So I'll turn that on when I go to get in, turn it on, let it run for a minute or two, and it'll warm it up enough in there with the bathroom door closed to where it gets comfortable. It's really comfortable. And I'll just keep it near the bathtub. And then when if it gets too cold in there again, I'll just reach over and turn it on for another minute or two. But my baths, I can take a 2-hour bath to help me relax. And it does help. I've had a lot of stuff done to my back to help. And even just a nice hot bath really does help when I'm really sore. So yes, it's been a blessing. I was trying to get on disability, but I'm like, my doctor doesn't want me working. But I can't just sit around and do nothing all my life. I have to do something. I have to have some kind of income to pay bills, So I was trying to get on disability for a while, and I'm like, you know what? No. I'm going to keep working as long as I can because disability, to play games, it's easier for an alcoholic or a drug addict to get on disability than somebody who is truly disabled. They say alcoholism and being a drug addict is a disability. It becomes a disability because you're addicted to it now. You're addicted to it because you decided to play with it when you weren't addicted and start doing it and then decide, oh, I like how I feel when I do this, so I'm going to keep doing it. And now you're addicted to it. And now you're disabled because of that. But yet somebody who has 4 screws and a steel plate in their back and shouldn't be working is stuck working. So I'm going to keep working as long as I can. And when I can't, as it gets to where I can't do a job that I was doing, okay, I'll slow down a little bit and I'll go do another job that I can do. That's just a hair lighter duty than that. And I'm going to go as long as I can. If I can keep working until I hit 80 years old like that, like this, like I am now, cool, I'm happy because I'm able to keep going. When I had my back surgery, I'm not sure what's going on with YouTube and my phone and all, but it keeps kicking me out. I think it's because my phone's wanting to do an update. But anyway, I'm going to keep working as long as I can. When I had my back surgery and they put the 4 screws and steel plate in my back, my doctor wanted me to sit around doing nothing for a minimum of 3 months. Didn't want me going out and doing nothing. I made it 2 months and I was going crazy. I couldn't stand it. I could not stand sitting around doing nothing. I was out there, my buddy of mine, he's a quadriplegic. And he wishes he could do just half of what I can do every day. And he makes the most of his life. He goes out there, he's got a dealer's license. Him and another, I don't know if it's a friend of his or whatever, they have a dealer's license, both of them. And back then, I was able to drive him around all the time. Well, he's moved way out a good hour and a half away from me. So I don't get to help him out like I used to. But he takes a dealer's license and has people drive him around to Copart and for their auctions. And he'll go in there and he'll go around his chair looking. And whoever's driven him there, they'll go over there, get the key, start the car, tell me information on it, whatever they can find out, easiest way to do it. I had a '06 Dodge Caravan, came from Copart auction. He helped me get that. And the reason why he helped me get it, I could have gotten it myself. But instead of paying $754 for it, said and done, from the Copart, it would have been over $1,000 because the fees. He has a dealer's license, so he doesn't have to pay as much in fees. He has a deposit on record with them, so he doesn't have to pay as much in fees for that as well. So that's him having keeping that deposit on record with them has saved him a lot of money. He got it was like a Toyota Camry or something like that. No, there was a Honda Accord. And it had been sent to Copart for auction. Apparently, the previous owner was driving on the highway, and when it was raining, and lost control and went backwards and went over something backwards. Messed up the plastic bumper cover, and the spare tire well got smashed up a little bit. That was all the damage done to the whole car. And my buddy got it from Copart for like $500. Nice car, good condition. I took him down. We went to a shop over here that sells brand new stuff for parts for cars and stuff, and got a new bumper, plastic bumper cover. He took it to a friend of his body shop out in Richmond, and they painted it to match the original color of the car. Put it on. He gets it back. I go out there into the trunk of the car with a sledgehammer, and I used that and beat the spare tire well back down and got it pretty much back into its original condition. The paint wasn't damaged, nothing like that, so, he was happy. He turned around and took that less than $1,000 investment that he had put into it, said and done, and sold that car for almost $4 grand. Okay. And I've considered getting me a dealer's license like that. The problem is, a somebody with a felony on their record can't get a dealer's license in most states. They say, "Oh no, you got a felony background. We can't give you a dealer's license." They don't go by what kind of felony it is. It's just felony, period. So you're saying that somebody that, when they were younger, barely an adult, committed a simple crime, now they can't get a dealer's license and make something of themselves? That don't make sense. It's stupidity. And because when I was younger, I was stupid, I got a felony conviction, boom, I'm out of the runnings for that. So yeah, I'll just continue with what I'm doing and doing repairs for people. I had one guy was going to have me do a water heater, and he was supposed to call me Sunday night, and I was supposed to go over to where he's at yesterday and do the water heater install. Never got called back on it, so I don't know what happened. Guy maybe changed his mind, maybe he got somebody else to do it, I don't know. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. But yeah. What? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Y'all have a good one.